What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Xman & Co. Today we're going to make a chicken parma. Now what's a chicken parma? Chicken parmigiana, chicken parmesan, the Italians love it. Basically it's breaded chicken breast covered in tomato sauce and some mozzarella cheese. Some use parmesan and others provolone cheese. Today we're going to use Gouda cheese. We're obviously going to throw a twist on this chicken parma and you're going to love it. Right, let me introduce you to our ingredients. As always guys, we're going to leave the quantities for you in the description below. Right, first of all you need your favorite corn chips, crisps, whatever you call it. Today we're going to use these two. We find these works brilliant. Over here we've got some avos, some cocktail tomatoes, a few cloves of garlic, we've got some Gouda cheese and basil. Obviously we need some white wine for the chef and for the cook. And then over here we've got just sunflower oil, the best that we could find. You don't have to use olive oil for this dish, but sunflower oil works perfectly. For the second part of this cook we're going to need some eggs and flour, but we'll get to that in a bit. First of all we need to batter our chicken breast, pat it down, make sure it's nice and dry. That will definitely help us with this cook as well. There you go. Then we want to cut this chicken breast in half. This here guys is the fun part where we put some cling wrapping on top of this chicken breast and start eating it. The reason you want to break down the chicken is to make sure that it's even and the same thickness right through. If we don't do this it won't cook evenly and that will be kind of a disaster. Time to crush these babies. No right or wrong way, you just have to crush it as fine as possible. Cheese time. In previous videos I've explained this. If you want to make a bed of cheese, you need to make sure that they're the same thickness, the cheese that you're using, or you need to grate it, or whatever you decide to do, just make sure that they're even and more or less the same size. Now guys, comment below what you think. Do you think you can ever have too much cheese? It's a serious question, really. I don't think you can. But seriously, do you think you can? Right guys, what we're going to do here is just take your chicken, put it through your all-purpose flour. Then you want to put it through your egg. Once it's through your egg, you just want to make sure it goes through the crumbs, your corn chips, whatever you decided on using. Make sure it's nicely covered. It's a slight messy situation, but hey, this is going to be so beautiful. At this stage you don't want to fiddle too much with it. Then guys, just repeat the process for each piece that you want to do. We're going to do a couple of pieces here today. Now that we've crumbed our chicken breasts, these guys are ready for the skillet with some oil, which we're going to do just in a bit. Just a few tips guys. Once you've cooked your chicken breast, you cannot put it back onto this area here. We need to clean this first. We don't want to do contamination. I always just point it out every third, fourth video that be careful with raw meat and cooked meat on the same surface. Then as always, you know what's more important? Good food, good company, and having fun while working with food. Let's get the show on the road. Then we're going to add our oil. We're using sunflower oil. You want to make sure that your oil is about 130 degrees Celsius. Without further ado, oh fantastic, look at that guys. I'm going to add a small one here. It's very thin so the chicken will cook very quickly. So it's nice and brown. And you know this is going to be delicious. Doing this in oil and quite a bit of oil, you know that it's going to change color on the outside. Right guys, it's been 2.5 minutes aside and these guys are ready. You might want to pat these guys down with a paper towel. We're adding the garlic cloves just to add a little bit of extra flavor to our tomatoes. You could obviously play and add a little bit of spice if that's what you would like to do. The next step's entirely up to you. You can decide how much you want to grill your tomatoes. We like it pre-grilled, so we're going to leave it in maybe a little bit longer than what most people would do. These avocados are very ripe, so you have to be very delicate with them. Sharp knife always helps. Don't have to cut it in half, but I find that it's easier if it's very ripe, otherwise it just breaks. Right guys, we're starting to plate now. Here's our first chicken parma. Then it's time for our cheese bed. Let's go over to the Weber and sort that out. As previously explained, a little bit of white wine. Add it to the cheese, definitely going to help you. The white wine is basically the trick to this dish. You want to use a medium heat for this exercise. Too much heat will obviously burn the cheese. Alright guys, that moment of truth. Want to add some green to this dish. Some tomatoes. As you've noticed, we haven't put any salt on this dish because there's some salt in the corn chips. So we're adding a little bit of salt now, and it's flaky salt. We also like our pepper, so we're going to add some ground pepper. Last but not least, we need some basil leaves. There we go. You know the story, I think it's time to cut this baby up. Shall we do that? Yeah. Oh, look at the juices flowing. Look at that. Look at those layers of cheese. This is beautiful. Some green. There you go. Cheers, boys and girls. Wow. I don't know what and how to explain this anymore. This is absolutely amazing. The flavors are out of this world. You've got the juicy, tender chicken. You've got the corn on the outside. You've got some cheese in between, covered with tomato, and then obviously the ava. You guys should really try this. Guys, you know the story. If you like what you're doing, like, share, subscribe. Enable those notifications so you get notified as soon as we upload a new video. Thanks for watching. We cannot do this without you. We'll see you on the next one.